Hey everybody, it's Dustin Nulf with Keller Williams Realty's, the Dustin Nulf team, and Full House LLC, Pittsburgh Property Management. So we're talking again about Craigslist, and we're going to be looking at Craigslist Lead Generation. So how do you make your, what do you do when you have a real listing, right? So you're going to advertise a listing that you have. What's the best way to do that so you're going to generate the most leads possible? We're going to look at that today. Before I get started, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification button for this channel if you like what you're seeing. Post a comment below, let me know if you want to see anything else. There are links below in the summary for my favorite books that have helped me along the way. I've got a link that's going to save you $150 on Real Geek CRM and IDX solution. It's super affordable. It's between $250 and $300 a month for the base, and it's got everything you need in it. So if you're looking for like a step up, if you already have a CRM or database solution that you're using, that your broker offers, and you want to take the next step up, this is a great one to use. So, and then I do affordable real estate coaching. I do sales coaching, investing coaching, team building coaching. The links for that are below. Starting out at $10 a month, super cheap. You get downloads to a lot of the stuff that my team's using, like expired listing mailers, checklists that we use for sale by owner contract, that sort of stuff. We give that out to our coaching clients. So feel free to sign up if you want access to some of that stuff and some YouTube videos that aren't being published to the general public. All right, so let's get started. We already looked at Craigslist real quick. In the previous one, if you didn't see part one, I'll put a link up above for part one, so you can click that link, open a new tab, and watch it later if you want, or you can go to my playlists. It will be in the real estate sales playlist, or real estate trainings playlist. So that's that. The first one was how to create Craigslist ads when you don't even have a listing. So if you want to target a neighborhood in a price range, you can create Craigslist ads that create buyer leads for you in the price range that you want, even if you don't have a listing. You can also ask people in your office, hey, are you advertising on Craigslist? If they say no, do you mind if I post a couple ads so I can generate some buyer leads for myself? And by the way, I might pick up a buyer for your property. Can I post some ads about your property? Most agents who aren't giant a-holes will let you do that. And what's it going to hurt them? I know I went through and I looked, and hardly any of our agents are using Craigslist. I don't know why, but they're not. And there's a lot of agents even in other brokerages around here who aren't using Craigslist at all. So you can just ask, if you find a listing that you want to advertise, ask that listing agent, hey, do you mind if I do this? I'd like to really boost my business and find you a buyer. And hopefully they say, sure. I would get that permission in writing and make sure your broker's okay with it, and then advertise it. So what we're going to look at today is, if you have a listing, what is the best way to advertise your listing on Craigslist so you can generate the most leads possible and keep a constant supply of buyers coming through. So what I would suggest is, okay, so number one, you need an IDX solution, and you can use your broker's IDX if they have one. They should have one. If they don't, you should find another broker, because if they don't have an IDX, they're living prior to like 1994, which is crazy. So you want to use your broker's IDX. You should have a subdomain there, and you're going to want to drive traffic to your subdomain. So when you have a listing, you can find the detail page for that listing on your subdomain, and that's what you're going to want to try to drive traffic to, because you want those people to check out your listing on your subdomain so they register and you get the lead. So let's find one. So I'm going to show you some of our ads here, and this is fantastic, because this is, I believe Kelsey did this, and it's looking pretty perfect. Kelsey does a great job. She's been with our team for like 4 years, maybe more now, I think. So we're gonna take a look at this. Here we go. This is an ad that we posted. I'm gonna kind of tell you why we do what we do here as we go through it. the heading's not super important. There's like tips and stuff that you can do. I think you can put like emojis and stuff in here if you want to put an emoji in or some symbols. Sometimes those get more attention just because you got a symbol. So like if I put like $3 signs before this and $3 signs at the end, like people would look at it maybe over the list of other stuff without symbols in it. So that's something to think about. We just do a quick blurb about the property. We do want, a lot of times you see how Kelsey's listed the Strip, Uptown, Oakland, and Polish Hill in downtown. She's naming a whole bunch of different neighborhoods that are around this neighborhood that are not necessarily this neighborhood, because the way Craigslist works is somebody can go in here and they can search downtown and still find this listing because we said downtown in this body down here. So you see all those neighborhoods listed there. That's why. So if somebody searches Polish Hill, we want them to find this ad because it's close by. Okay, and that's how buyers work anymore. They're not necessarily specifically looking for a neighborhood. They want a neighborhood like that neighborhood. So they might be open to living in 3 or 4 different neighborhoods in an area. So that's why we name them like that. So it gives us a higher chance of traffic. Copy and paste for detail page on this listing. So what we do is we go into our IDX and we do a search like I did in the last video. And for this one, we're going to look at Hill District. So we know where this listing's at because it's our listing and we want to advertise it. So we're going to go into Hill District. We're looking for multifamily residential because this is a multifamily home. And we're going to search, and then we found our listing right here, okay? And we can click on the link, and it's going to open up. This is our lead capture. So the way we have our site set up is if a buyer clicks on the link, it's going to ask them to log in immediately and they can't see any more information. So we're either going to get like their info immediately, or we're going to get fake info immediately. And you know, if you get fake info and it all is bad, we just delete that lead from our database. So if we got a bad email address, a bad phone number, we're just going to delete them from our database. Most of the time, believe it or not, we're getting real information. And you know why? Because they're going in here and they're clicking on Facebook and they're logging in with Facebook, and then it's pulling the data from Facebook. So we're getting real information for these people. So what we did is we clicked on our listing, and it took us to the listing detail page right here. And then so this address up here, that's the link that we want. So we're going to copy that. And then that's what Kelsey's put in here. So copy and paste for the detail page on this listing. So it takes them directly to that listing. Now, if they're looking at this and they're like, man, I don't know if I like that property. Oh, copy and paste for all the properties for sale in the Hill District. Well, that's cool. So I can just go here, and instead of searching Craigslist like a fool for hours, I can just go to that link and it's going to show me all of the listings. So here's every listing in the Hill District. So those buyers are now, we got them off of Craigslist and we got them on our IDX site, and they can look at whatever listing they want in Hill District, and they might think, well, I don't want the Hill District, so ooh, I can go up here and I can search other properties. Now that's what we want to do. We want to get them, because 99% of the time when they look at your listing, they're not going to want it. Okay, that's the sad truth about it. Most of the time when they look at your listing, they're going to rule it out and they're going to want to move on. And if you have no other means of capturing them in your call to action, then you're not going to capture them. They're going to move on and somebody else is going to get them. So now we've captured them because they're looking for other properties here. If they click on one, it does the same thing. Register. Okay? So here's the other thing. So now this is an investment property. So I learned, it was probably 2010 or 2011, I learned to start building a database of investors. And what we say is, here's our call to action for investors. If you want to be added to our investor mailing list and receive our investment property listings before they hit the MLS, reply to this ad with an email stating investor. So when they reply, they say, I'm an investor, add me to your list. Usually we get the Craigslist email relay, so we don't have the real email address or anything. And then we'll say, well, we need your real email address, your phone number, and tell us a little bit about what you're looking to do. and then they'll respond, and then we'll call them and actually try to talk to them and meet with them. Once we know that, then we're going to add them to our database. Our investor database is over 700 investors right now that are buying in the Pittsburgh area. So what we do is if we come across a property where an owner says, I'd be willing to sell this for X amount of dollars, but I don't want it on the market, and you can take it out to your clients and see if they want it, then we'll shoot it out to our database, and sometimes we'll find a buyer for that property where that property was never going to be listed with us, but we found a buyer for it, and now we got both sides of the deal because we got this database. So keep the database, shoot out your listings to it, shoot out your, like those pocket listings we call them. In Pennsylvania, you need to make sure you get permission from the owner to advertise the property, at least verbally. It's better to get it in writing. I like to get at least an email from them that says that they're going to let us do that. Ideally, I want to get a broker's fee agreement saying they're going to pay me too, because I don't want to bring a buyer and then find out that they're trying to screw me on the commission. So that's what we do there. And then for a free list of homes for sale in your neighborhood, reply to this post with free home search. So if they didn't like any of this stuff here, they have the opportunity to reply and get a list for anywhere they want. So we've got 4 call to actions here. You see this? 4 call to actions. So it gives us a higher chance of getting a lead. Most agents, if they even use Craigslist, they just advertise their listing real dumb, like here's our listing, that's it. Call me if you want to see it. Call me if you want to see it is a bad call to action because it only works for your listing. You want to give them stuff like this where if they don't like your listing, you have other options to capture them. Okay? So I hope that made sense. If you liked the video and learned something from it, let me know what you learned. Post an aha in the bottom in the comments and let me know what your biggest takeaway was from this. What are you going to implement today? Click thumbs up, click subscribe, click the notification button. Stay tuned for more stuff. If you want to see the other Craigslist video, there should be some playlists popping up here. It's the real estate training, I think it is, playlist that I have. You can click on that and you're going to get the other Craigslist video as well. I got links for other videos below. I got links to great books that you should read, and the affordable coaching links are below as well. Thanks for watching. See you again soon.